Hello everyone. After a while, we are back at understanding ascendant. Okay, I left the ascendant series because we were understanding the ancient concepts and the basics of ancient knowledge. You can check out that in my next playlist, ancient Vedic knowledge, where I have given all the Vedic knowledge in a series. Please do check out in series. Don't open videos haphazardly because the flow is interconnected. Okay, so coming back to Pisces ascendant. See, as I told you, there are 4 ascendants which are blessed. The 4 blessed ascendants are the rising sign. I mean, one is Cancer, another is Sagittarius, and third is Pisces. 3 are blessed. Okay, you have a blessing, like we say goddesses like Parvati, Lakshmi and Saraswati. And 2 which are cursed zodiacs are Scorpio and Aquarius. Okay, so 2 zodiacs are cursed which are Scorpio and Aquarius, and 3 zodiacs are blessed which are Cancer, Sagittarius and Pisces. Among Sagittarius and Pisces, see, there is a peculiar thing over there. Jupiter is the lord of both of them. Jupiter is the lord of Sagittarius, Jupiter is also the lord of Pisces. So what is to be noted is, see, there is a difference in the knowledge of Sagittarius and in the knowledge of Pisces. The Sagittarius knowledge is quite different. It is learning. And the Pisces knowledge is all about utilizing skills and fruits. So it's like Sagittarius is a plant which gives flowers, and Pisces is a plant which gives fruits. Okay, but there are pros and cons of everything. So we are talking about Pisces ascendant. When you are born, the sign which is rising on the horizon is Pisces. So the first house is number 12 zodiac, that is Pisces. So the first lord over here becomes Pisces, whose lord is Jupiter. You have to see where the Jupiter is placed to understand your complete body tendency, your tahsil of the body, how it is established. Okay, but we'll come to each and every houses one by one. Now talking about money matters. See, first of all, whatever house you consider, the 12th from that house, that is one house minus that house. Okay, see, for example, I am considering the first house. So the 12th house from the first house is going to be the 12th house, naturally. Okay, but if you are considering the second house, okay, who is the 12th house of the second house? You have to count 12 from the second house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you come to the first house. Okay, similarly, second house is the 12th house of third house. Okay, from third house you have to count 12. Okay, any house which is the 12th house from itself is the weak point. The lord of that house is the weak point. Okay, say for example, second house. Second house is the 12th house of third house. From 3, if you count 12, you reach to number 2 again. Okay, so from third house, the second house is 12th from itself. So third house is the house of speech. Okay, and over here the second house goes to Aries. Who is the lord of Aries? Lord of Aries is Mars. So whenever see these fire signs, either Mars or Scorpio, 2 of them are placed in the second house, and second house being the 12th house of the third house. Third house is the house of communication. Okay, so whenever Mars is placed in the second house, or the signs ruling Mars is placed in the second house, it becomes a fire house. The second house becomes fire. And second house is the weakness of third house. Third house is the weakness of fourth house. Fourth house is the weakness of fifth house. Fifth house is the weakness of sixth house, and so on. Okay, so in this case, the second house fire is the weakness of third house, communication. So what we can say, fire, bitterness, rage, over bluntness, no control over the speech. Everything comes about the fire on the second house. So for Pisces ascendants and Libra ascendants, because in Libra, if ascendant is Libra, first sign is 7, then the second house is Scorpio. It is also ruled by Mars. In case of Pisces, again second house is ruled by Mars. So both of these ascendants have this bad habit of speaking out things they should not speak. They can't control their speech. Okay, but the Scorpio Mars is a bit lower than the Aries Mars, because Mars is exalted in Aries. So over here Aries becomes the second house, which is destroying the speech of the person. So all the bitterness, all the harshness, all the roughness comes from the speech of that person. Although the person is being blunt, but they don't know how to control their speech. It is the bluntness that is causing fire. So first of all, these people should understand to speak politely, generously. They should add that sweetness in their tongue, because that they are lacking it. The sweetness is lacking. Why? Because fire is the weakness of speech. Second house is the weakness of third house. Okay, getting my point. Similarly, in case of Libra ascendants, we will see in the Libra ascendant video, second house becomes Scorpio. Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. So they are not bitter, but they instigate the fire. They don't speak harsh and bitter, but whatever they speak is not even sweet. Over sweet in terms of language, but the meaning is not at all sweet. Okay, so the meaning of the talk is not sweet. In the 12th house ascendant, the meaning is sweet, but the language is rude. Okay, language is rude and meaning is good. In the Libra ascendants, second house becomes Scorpio. The meaning is rude and the language is sweet. Okay, so this is the point. Secondly, second house is the Dhanesh. It rules the Lakshmi star. Now Mars is the Lakshmi star. So these people can go into all the Martian fields of attaining wealth. Okay, they can donate blood. If they donate blood, it is very good luck for the Lakshmi. Lakshmi comes if you donate blood. They can give charity to the hospitals, patients. They can give medicinal donations, all such things they can do, and they can worship Lord Hanuman. Hanuman is going to give you Lakshmi. Okay, Hanuman and Ganesh, both of them. Okay, now third house comes the house of speech. Third house is the house of speech, and which is the zodiac in the third house. We calculate 12, 1 and 2. Okay, so Taurus comes in the house of speech. Now consider Taurus, the typical sign of Taurus. It is the bull. Remember I told you bull. Good thing about bull, bad thing about bull. The good thing about bull is the bull is straightforward. Okay, bull is not manipulative. But the bad thing about bull is bull keeps on banging its head to one pole before it changes its direction. So you keep on explaining things to people who are not willing to understand. Why do you do that? Why can't you accept that the opposite person, no matter you like them, no matter you understand them, the person is not going to understand things which you are speaking? Then why the hell you keep on speaking? See, typical Taurus, keep banging head continuously, and Taurus is over there. So Taurus in the house of speech, you will keep on banging same things again and again and again. You will keep on explaining the same things to same people again and again and again, even though you know that the person is not going to understand it. So why do you care? But again, it is the house of speech in Taurus. You will not move away until the person understands, or until you have broken your head. Okay, so there is no need to make people understand what you are trying to say. Okay, so these people are not only bitter and rough in communication. Okay, they can't control their speech. But the second bad thing, or I won't say bad thing, but the second weakness is they will keep on explaining things to people who are not willing to understand. Why to do so? Why can't you let go of people? Okay, see the bull keeps on running after someone. Bull can't let go. Okay, so another thing is to let go people. Don't try to explain your point to them. If they don't understand, let go. And don't keep on thinking about them, why the person did this, why the person did that, why the person is doing this. Okay, they have a different sense. You have a different sense. Why are you proving your point? Okay, see, Pisces ascendant, you are a fish. Why are you telling a tiger or a lion that how to swim? Because you are a fish. You can't. You won't be knowing and understanding the language of tiger or a lion. That okay, how to hunt, how to eat flesh. You won't understand that. So why do you care to make them understand how to swim? Getting a point. So you need to bifurcate people in life. And even when you bifurcated people in life, you don't have to explain everything to everyone. I know if I have a friend and I consider that I am Pisces ascendant and I have a friend, I want my friend to understand me very much. But you are a fish. It is very hard to understand a fish. And a fish is very bad to communicate. A fish shows both the points. Okay, now what happens is the second person is not a fish. So you don't try to understand why they do things, and you don't try to communicate them that how they should do and why you do things. You just have to add acceptance. So what is lacking over here is acceptance of speech. Because see, third house watches the ninth house. It is the Guru Upadesh. Third house watches the ninth house. What is the ninth house? Ninth house is of religion, ninth house is of father. Typical thing. Now that rudeness, harshness destroys the relationship to the ninth house of father. And whose fault it is? It is not the fault of father, it is your fault. Why it is your fault? Because you don't have that sweetness in you. The speech is ruled by Venus and it is spoiled by Mars. 12th house from 3rd house, that is 2nd house, which is fire, Mars. So Mars is spoiling your speech. From that spoilage of speech, you are spoiling your communication. From that spoilage of communication, you are spoiling your bondage with your father. Opposite house of 3rd house is 9th house. So you need to change. Okay, in case of what you say, this was the if this was opposite, like 2nd house, Taurus was in 9th house. Okay, if Taurus is in 9th house, what is going to be the ascendant? 3, 4, 5, 6. Virgo ascendant. Okay, if you are a Virgo ascendant, then your father is wrong and you are right. Your father cannot communicate rightly. But if you are a Pisces ascendant, you cannot communicate rightly with your father. Okay, see, it is very necessary to understand who is at fault. If you are a Pisces ascendant and you are having problems with your father, you are at fault. But if you are a Virgo ascendant and you are having problems with your father is at fault. Okay, જળ કોણ છે? જળ જેવું માણસ કોણ છે? જે ટોરસ છે. ટોરસ જ્યાં બેઠું છે ને ત્યાં તમે જળ જેવા થઈ જાવ, rigid, stubborn. Okay, so if Taurus is sitting in 9th house, your father is rigid and stubborn. But if it is sitting in the 3rd house, you are rigid and stubborn in terms of speech, communication, and that is why there is a clash. Okay, so what you can do is you can either wear anything that is placed in the 9th house if the 9th house, if the planets in the 9th house are good. Okay, good planets are Moon, Venus, Mercury. Okay, on only these three things, or Sun. Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury. Also Jupiter. But if it is Rahu there, Ketu there, Mars there, okay, you don't have to wear it. It is going to give you a malefic result. For that, again, different videos, more complicated answers. So this was the third house which is watching the ninth house. See the problem of the third house. If you are a Pisces ascendant, there is a problem with the third house. Because it is Taurus and the 12th house from third house is number 2, which is again ruled by Mars. So your speech becomes your weakness. You lose things because of your speech. Okay, learn sweetness and politeness in your attitude. More sweetness, not politeness. You need to be more sweet. Okay. Then comes 4th house. Now 4th house becomes the third zodiac. Third zodiac is Gemini. The lord of third house, lord of Gemini is Mercury. Mercury in 4th house is not very good. Because whenever Mercury comes in the 4th house, there is internal politics in your family. See, what is the Digbal place of Mercury? The Digbal of Mercury is in the 1st house. In the 4th house, Mercury is not comfortable. Why? Because it is the home environment. It is the space of Moon and Venus. What will Mercury do in the place of Moon and Venus? See, Mercury is smartness. Mercury is intellect. Mercury is all about political speech and political mindset. Okay. And what is the 4th house? 4th house is the house of home. The Lord is husband, wife, that is spouse or Venus, and Moon, that is mother. It is the house of emotions. So where you have to be emotional, where you have to be emotional, you are being political. The biggest flaw is you are trying to be political where you need to be emotional. Okay. In the 4th house, who is the ruler of 4th house? It is Moon and Venus. What are the nature of Moon? Moon is emotional. Moon is mother. Okay. And what is Venus? Venus is again pleasure, desire, and it is again sweetness. Okay. Venus is sweetness. Moon is emotions. So you have to be emotional and sweet. In the 4th house, that is your home environment, in your family. And what you are a Gemini. Who is Gemini? Gemini Lord is Mercury. Now what is Mercury? Mercury is again politics. Mercury is again, although it is communication, but Mercurian communication is totally different from communication. See, especially Gemini. If there is Gemini, you are good in communicating with the opposite gender. But of the same, when it comes to the same gender, you do some political conclusions. Okay. So, and wherever if Mercury is placed in the 4th house, okay, I am going to tell this by, I'm 200% sure, because I have seen many charts like this. There is internal politics going on in your house, in your family, whether from your near family or your nearer family or your father family. May it be from your mother side, father side. But there is always some internal politics going on in your family. Okay, so Mercury in 4th house is very bad. Very bad. Because see, where you have to be emotional, okay, where you have to be emotional, you are being political. How would it work? It is definitely not going to work. Neither you will get any result out of it. Okay, so first thing you have to see is who is being political in your family. If you are living in a joint family, it is either, and if you are a male, then it is either some female who is being political. If you are a female, it is either some male who is being political. Okay. If you are in joint family and you are a male, it is either your sister or sister-in-law. If you are a female, it is either your brother or brother-in-law. Any one of them. Okay. If you are female, they can be from your father's side. If you are a male, they can be from your mother's side of family. Okay. So this was the 4th house for Pisces ascendant. But again, if planets are placed over there, the things change. Not change, but they are a bit modified. And they can give you a specific region or where you can find that person who is being political. Okay. See, if Mars is placed over there, so who is Mars? Mars is your brothers and sisters. So 110% it is your brother or sister who is being political in your family and who is ruining your plans. Always 110%, and you can't catch them because the fourth house is Mercury. The person is being politically smart and it is obstructing your way, or it is making a way out of their desire. So if Mars is placed over there, it is definitely either your brother or sister who is playing politics in your family, talking this, talking that about you, and turning your impression from this side to that side. Okay, if Sun is there, it is from your father's family, most probably your father. If Moon is there, it is your mother. Okay, if Mercury is there, then it is either your mother-in-law or father-in-law. If you are not married, it is either your father's brother's children or your mother's sister's children. If Jupiter is there, your younger brother or sister. Sorry, if Jupiter is not brother or sister, Mars is brother or sister. If Jupiter is there, Jupiter is good because Jupiter is cancelling out your Mercury there. See, now if you are a Pisces ascendant and Jupiter is placed in the fourth house, okay, the internal politics is cancelling out. You can easily catch them because Jupiter is hitting them. It is giving you knowledge who is the culprit. Okay, so Jupiter is good over there. Getting my point? So planets are going to affect you. But this is it, and I'm sure if you find it and if you do some investigation, okay, you are definitely going to catch that person. But see, Mercury is placed over there, so even though you try to catch, the person is not going to be easily to catch. The person is always going to find and defend itself. Okay, but you might know after the age of around 28, 29 years that okay, this was a person who was always speaking things about me in my family, and that is why whatever I used to plan and whatever the happening is going to take place, everything was being jumbled and my impression was going up and down, because those people are controlling your reputation, are controlling what you are doing in the family. Okay, see, Mercury sign in the fourth house, that is someone is definitely doing politics in your family. Okay, who is doing it? You have to see the planet which is over there. If there is no planet over there, see if any planet is aspecting there. If neither of these conditions are there, you have to see Mercury. Where is Mercury sitting in your chart? So this is the third thing. But if the planet is there, directly catch the culprit. Okay, this fellow is the culprit. If I share anything with this person is going to ruin my plans. May it be your closest person, but I am 100% sure that my results are accurate. Okay. Now fifth house is of skill, fame, children. Fifth house is of fame and children mostly. Just wait a second. Turn the lights on. So fifth house is the house of fame and children. And who is the lord of fifth house over here? So if you count, fifth house is the lord is 4. Cancer comes in the fifth house. Okay, if you are Pisces ascendant, number 4 comes in the fifth house. Now Cancer over here is very good, but there is the good side and the bad side. The good side is you will be famous among small people in the society, and you can handle small people very well in the society. What you can't handle are big people. Okay, so you can handle the small people, but when you try to handle the big people, there is problem. So you desire to go into the the fame and powerful environment of the society. Okay, the higher class, the higher standard, but the higher standard is not made for you because you are being famous among the lower people. And I'm not saying that okay, you will be in the lower class. No, I'm not saying you are in the lower class, but you will be more famous in the lower class than you will be famous in the higher class. It is possible that in the higher class you will be defamed, but in the lower class you will be famous. You will have good reputation. Okay, so with small people, middle class people, lower middle class people, you will be famous. People will admire you. For the higher class people, people might not admire you. Okay. Next is the sixth house. Talking more about the fifth house, if I want to talk more about the fifth house, you can take a career related to something food industry, or if your moon is placed right, okay, if your moon is placed right, you can go into some food industry, you can go and do business of some restaurant, hotel, or anything like that. Okay, you can also do some business of water. You can sell water. Okay, but if your moon is placed right, if your moon is not placed right, if your moon is not placed rightfully in the chart, then don't do these things. Okay. Now coming to the sixth house. Sixth house is the house of diseases and enemies. Okay, and your diseases and enemies can also be your own bad habits. See over here, which is going to be the sixth house? It is going to be number 5, Leo. So who is your biggest enemy? Your biggest enemy is a Leo. Because Leo is placed in the house of enemies. Leo is placed in the house of enemy. And who is the lord of Leo? Sun. Okay. So it is possible that you and your father's interest and opinions does not match, because Sun is also the father. So Pisces ascendant have a bit of troublesome time in understanding their father because of conflict of interest and opinions. Because naturally, the sixth house of diseases, sixth house of enemies, sixth house of bad habits, sixth house of the culprits is itself Leo. Okay, so should you go in politics? Should you go in the powerful people? No. When you go to higher class people, you are reaching the Sun. Who is the Sun? Sun is someone who is in the authority of the society. Politics, politicians, big businessmen, upper higher class people. Your father. Okay. So where is your sun? Where is the sign of the Sun placed? This place in the sixth house. So they are your enemies. Why? Naturally, what is the logic behind it? See, being a Pisces ascendant, you want to do right things. You want to do justice. But how can people who are sitting on the throne can sustain on the throne without doing bad things? If not bad, they have to do the necessary things. And you are here to do the right thing. Now a person who is always doing the right thing is not going to adjust with someone who is going to do necessary things. You won't like them. Naturally you won't like them. Because those are the people who have higher sun. What do people with higher sun do? They make every planet revolve. They want to rule everything. So in order to rule everything, they need to catch every planet and make it revolve around them. How is this possible if the person is always going to do right thing? It is not possible. Understanding my point? And who are you? You are a Pisces ascendant. You are a fish. You are here to simply live your life and do good things. So why the hell do you care? Why do you want to go near the Sun? Sun is not good for you. Your biggest enemy is a Leo. Why? Because Leo is itself in the enemy house. Leo is going to bring you troubles and obstacles, and you are going to bring Leo diseases and illness. Leo is placed in the enemy house, 6th house. Okay, so Leo is disturbing your destiny, and you are disturbing the health of Leo. Because the opposite house of 6th house is 8th house of longevity, life, lifespan, death. So who is dying? Leo is dying. And who is getting trouble? Whose destiny is getting weakened? Your destiny is getting weakened. 6th house, enemies. 8th house, death. Samsama. Okay. So 6th house, house of enemies ruled by Leo. So always take care. And what types of enemies you are going to have? You are going to have any powerful people as your enemies. Okay, mostly they might be connected to a political background, or you can say they might be connected with some kind of authority of the government, authority of any kind of institution. Okay, so these type of people might be your enemies. So try to be away from those people and try to be away from Leos. Next is your 7th house of spouse and connection. Now, what is the 7th house? 7th house comes number 6. Number 6 is Virgo. Lord of Virgo is Mercury. What is going to be your attitude towards your spouse? It is going to be Virgo. The attitude towards your spouse is going to be like a Virgo. Now, Virgo is again Mercury. See, again, over here a problem of Mercury. Why? What is the natural 7th house? The natural 7th house is Libra. Who is the Lord of Libra? Lord of Libra is Venus. Because in case of spouse, you have to give love and affection. Again, what you are giving them? You are giving Mercury over there. You are communicating, but you are not communicating. You are communicating, but you are not communicating. You like to communicate a lot of things, but you are not communicating the affection. You are communicating everything, but you are not communicating your affection. And how is a bond going to sustain when you don't communicate affection? And Mercury is debilitated in the sign of Libra. Venus is debilitated in the sign of Mercury. Venus ને Mercury નથી ગમતો, Mercury ને Venus નથી ગમતો. હવે Venus ની જગ્યાએ Mercury બેઠો છે. જ્યાં પ્રેમ દેવાનો છે ત્યાં તમે કોમ્યુનિકેટ બીજું બધું કરો છો પ્રેમ સિવાય. પ્રેમ જ કોમ્યુનિકેટ નથી થતો તો કેમ ચાલે? Again, you have to see the position of Mercury and Venus in order to completely understand your chart. But I am just giving you a basic idea. Thrones, how are thrones placed? So what you need to inculcate is rather to communicate things precisely, try to communicate things naturally. See, Venus is natural communication and Mercury is thoughtful communication. મને આ ન ગમ્યું યાર, અરે યાર આ વસ્તુ બરોબર નથી યાર, જો હું તને સાચું કહું છું. See, I am being frank, this is what I don't like and I am not happy with this. Okay. This is a Venusian communication. Oh my God, you look so beautiful. I love your eyes. And oh my God, I am so much love in your personality. I am in so much love with your knowledge. I am in so much love with your kind of being. This is Venusian communication. What is Mercurian communication? Look, we need to be clear and I need to explain you something in my life. See, what I am is not everything what you can understand. I am different from you, you are different from me. And I don't know how we can get together well, but I am sure that we would find a way to work out and I am sure that I would be able to adjust. Again, part 2. About loving. Do you know that there is something inside me that is connecting you towards you? I don't know my heart whether it is connecting with you or not, but I am in totally selfless emotions. I am giving total selfless emotions to you. See, this is Mercurian communication. The previous one was Venusian communication. Very blunt and straightforward, sweet. Mercurian communication, perfect and accurate, but too much of things. Gold. And there is no sweetness in Mercurian communication. There is a bluntness in Mercurian communication. In Venusian communication, there is sweetness. Okay, so the 7th house, which should be ruled by Venus, is ruled by Mercury. So communication is there, but how it should be, it is not like that. See, Venusian communication should be there. Over here there is Mercurian communication, so again there is a problem. And Mercury in the spouse house is not very good. Okay, 7th house Mercury is not good. Possibility of divorces. Okay. If your Mercury is not sitting there or not aspecting there, it is good. Okay. Then let's talk about 8th house. 8th house is of death and longevity. And over here is Venus. Is Venus good in 8th house? Yes, very good. Sanjeevani Yoga. So in terms of life, you would live a very long life, and you would also increase the lifespan of the person you are living with. Okay, so you will increase the lifespan of your spouse, and you will also live longer, because the natural Venusian sign where Venus is exalted, Libra, is in the 8th house. Okay, so you are giving long life to yourself and long life to your spouse. And especially if you select a person who is having Saturn's vision in the 8th house, or Saturn in the 8th house, or not Saturn in the 8th house, but aspect of Saturn in the 8th house, or in D8 chart Saturn is watching the 8th house, or Saturn is in the 8th house, then you both can live around 100 years if your Venus is not sitting in a malefic place. If your Venus is sitting in a malefic place, you are going to have a good life, but not a happy life. If Venus is sitting in a good place, you are going to have a good life and a happy life, both. Okay. Because 8th house Venus is very good. It is giving you Sanjeevani Yoga. And the natural beneficator of Venus, the natural lordship of Venus is in the hands of Libra. Libra is a lord of Venus. Venus is the lord of Libra. See, there are two signs of Libra. Taurus. See, there are two signs of Venus. Taurus and Libra. And Venus is more connected to Libra. Okay. Similarly, just like Mars was more connected to Aries than in Scorpio. Likewise. Okay. So this is a very good placement for your longevity in life. You can increase the lifespan of the person you are marrying. The person is going to have a very long life. Okay. And you, of course. Next is 9th house. 9th house is religion, chanting, dharma, and father. Over here is number 8. Poison. Scorpio. Poison. So there is poison in the 9th house, there is poison in your dharma. So you need to change your dharma. Change your dharma of birth, and you will have a very good life. If your birth religion is worshipping to Vishnu, don't worship him, worship Shiva. If your birth religion is worshipping Shiva, don't worship him, worship Vishnu. If your birth religion is Hinduism, go to some masjid, go to some Gurudwara, go to some church. Just change your religion and you will solve 50% of your problems. Because your own religion is giving you poison. Pisces ascendant. Okay. Because where is the poison? Poison is in the hands of Scorpio, and Scorpio sign is sitting in the dharma. You need to change your religion. And never marry in your own religion. Never. Because it is your destiny to change your religion. Okay, now in which religion you should go? See, you have to count 8 from that house, because anything to the 8th from itself is change and transformation. Okay, so count 8 from 9th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the 8th house from the 9th house is the 4th house. If you count 8 from number 9, you reach to the 4th house. Now see the Lord of 4th house. Who is the Lord of 4th house? If any planet is sitting over there, consider that planet. If any planet is not sitting over there, consider the Lord. Who is the Lord of 4th house? Wednesday, Mercury. Right? So you have to worship and change your religion into a religion where Wednesday worship is taking place. Okay. If any planet is sitting over there, for example, if Mars is sitting over there, okay, then you have to start worshipping a religion where Tuesdays are worshipped. Okay, or in Hinduism, you can worship to Hanumanji, Mangalvar. Okay, if Venus is there, or if Venus is placed over there, then you have to change your religion to, or go and worship into masjid, because they have Friday worship. If moon is there, you have to worship Lord Shiva. If sun is there, you have to worship Lord Vishnu. If Thursday, Jupiter is there, you have to go to Gurudwara. Okay, apply Sikhism. So whatever planet is sitting in the 4th house, you have to see on that day which religion is practiced. And you have to change your religion from your religion to that religion, and you will solve 50% of your troubles in life. See, this is my guarantee. I am giving you the guarantee. Pisces ascendants, change your birth religion. And I am not saying change your religion completely. If you are a Hindu, we have many gods and goddesses. If your parents or family is worshipping Vishnu, you have to change your religion and start worshipping Shiva or Ganesha or Hanuman or Devi or Kali or anything. See, if Saturn is there, you have to go and worship Kali. For sure, if Saturn is in the 4th house, go and worship Kali. Change your religion. Okay. So changing religion doesn't mean change the complete religion. Change the deity whom you are worshipping. Okay. So I'm just saying, you don't have to worship the deity, the god which is being worshipped in your family environment. You have to worship another god. Which god you have to select? You have to see the 8th house from the 9th house and which planet is over there, and on the day of that planet which religion is practiced. You have to select that god. Simple. See, logics are very easy, but you just need to think, apply a Mercury. Okay. Now coming to 10th house of social skills. 10th house of social skills, society, father, son. So over here the 10th house is number 9, Sagittarius. You are a very good teacher and a guide. So in the society, you would have a very good impression that you are guiding everywhere and everyone. Whenever someone is needing a guidance, you are always there to guide that person. So you are a very good guide. Consider 10th house being Sagittarius, a very good guide. But the problem is, Jupiter gives result in Pisces, not in Sagittarius. In Sagittarius, you are learning. So you want to give guidance to people, but you also need guidance of other people. Okay, because it is the society house. Okay, so you need guidance of other people, and then you can guide other people. Okay, so it's like taking guidance from X person and giving guidance to Y person, and this is what you will keep on doing in the society. Half of the day, half of the moon phases, you will take guidance and knowledge from some people, and then you will keep on giving guidance to other people. So there will be people in your life who would come and give you guidance of some specific fields or different fields, or guidance of life, living, society, anything, any type of guidance you are getting from people. Then what you will do, you will be a carrier, and all the things you accumulated in your brain and all the knowledge and guidance you accumulated in the brain, you would give to someone else. So you would be a middleman, a bridge. You will take knowledge from one part and you will give knowledge to second part. Okay, because the part A is not directly associated with part B. So you are the connector, you are the bridge. Getting my point? So you are the connector of sattvic people to tamasic people, and you act like a rajasic person. Okay, so you accumulate knowledge from all the sattvic people and you give it to all the tamasic people. Good thing is you are a giver of knowledge, which is a good thing. But bad thing is you are giving knowledge to worthless people. You had to apply the knowledge which is coming towards you, but rather you to apply it, you are giving to someone else. Understanding my point? You are giving knowledge to tamasic people, which is good. You are helping in transformation. You are helping in making society a better place. But what good it is for you, it is not good for you. How it is not good for you? Because you are getting guidance. You are getting some wisdom from person A. Now you are not inculcating that wisdom. You are giving that wisdom to person C, who is not even worthy of that wisdom. Why? પોતામાં યુઝ કરો, બીજાને શું કામ દેવી છે? See, I am not saying that be secretive. I am saying utilize the knowledge for yourself. Why do you want to give the knowledge to third person? First, inculcate in yourself. For example, I am a person A. I am giving knowledge to a Pisces ascendant that how to face read people. Okay, how to see the luck and fortune, how to see whether the person is reliable or not. So what that person would do? The person would not inculcate that thing in his own life, in his or her own life. The person is going to teach this thing to someone else. Why? Why? I also have the answer of why. Why is the person doing that thing? You have to see the aspect of Jupiter. Which is the aspect of Jupiter? 9th from itself. Jupiter watches the 9th house from itself. Calculate 9 from that house and you will see why the person is like this. Okay, calculate 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9th is again the enemy house. Okay, 6th house, enemies. So why the person is doing like this? The person is doing like this because who is the natural lord of the 6th house? Virgo. What is the peculiar thing of Virgo? Show off. Anything else? Mithun. The sign you see, couple sign. There is a girl and boy in Gemini. So what happens is, opposite sex people come to you and get knowledge out from you. But you don't apply that knowledge in your own life. You are always trying to impress the opposite sex people. You want to take that charm from the opposite person. See, that is the problem. You don't give and guide other people because you are a giver and you want to guide people. No. You want to take appreciation. The bad thing about Gemini is Gemini always wants appreciation. Where appreciation is not, Gemini is not there. So that is the peculiar thing of Gemini. Gemini people want appreciation. You give Gemini a lot of appreciation, they will come and hug you. That's all. So count 9 from that house comes Gemini. So why are you being a bridge of knowledge? You are being a bridge of knowledge because you want appreciation from the society. You don't want to do good for society, not at all. You want to do good for society? No. You want to gain the appreciation from the society. That okay, this person is doing good for me, this person is doing good for the society. You just want appreciation. And in the pursuit of appreciation, the knowledge which you should be accumulating, you are not accumulating. You are taking the knowledge and giving it to the worthless people. And the worthless people are appreciating you, you are being happy. Yay! But you are not winning. You are just winning the appreciation of worthless people, the tamasic people. Getting my point? So what you should do is, that knowledge which is coming from sattvic people, okay, from there, you have to accumulate in yourself. You don't have to give to other people. After you accumulate in yourself, you have to give to them. Or rather, I would say, don't give to them. Let them understand by observing you. And don't run for appreciation. People who appreciate you are your enemies, because it is in the Gemini sign. Okay, whether it is Gemini, no, it is not Gemini. Natural sign is Gemini, sorry, yes. Sorry, it's not Gemini. It's number 5, which is Leo. You are doing that thing to gain attention, power, respect. So you are taking knowledge from A people, giving to B people, because you want respect and authority. People will believe you, people will do what you say if people get the right guidance. So you want a good image, impression. What is sun? Sun is image. Sun is power. Sun is authority. Sun is respect, name and fame. So just in order to get respect, name and fame, the knowledge which you should be consuming, you are not consuming it. You are giving it to someone else. It's like someone is giving you Amrit. That okay, take this Amrit. So you would not drink the Amrit. What you will do? You want to tell everyone that I have Amrit. So you will give people, okay, take Amrit, I got Amrit. So you will give them. So what happened of you? Understand? So this is the reason. Don't be a bridge of knowledge. Inculcate the knowledge you are getting. Getting my point? Pisces ascendant, especially. Now, 11th house of gains. The 11th house of gains is again number 10, that is Capricorn, Saturn. There is nothing more than Saturn giving you gain. People say, oh, Saturn is bad, Saturn is this, Saturn is that. But when Saturn gives you gain, no other planet is going to give you gain as much as Saturn is going to give you gain. Keep it in return. Saturn gives very good gain. And your 11th house Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is very good. See, Saturn is very good in Capricorn. Saturn is not good in Aquarius. Capricorn is good than Aquarius. Aquarius is again a curse. Capricorn is not a curse. So, Saturn in Capricorn or Capricorn in the 11th house, gains. Saturn is giving you gains. Go to Saturn, worship Saturn, do Saturday fast and stay away from Sunday, Sun. Because Saturn is giving you gain. Why do you want to go to Sun? Why do you want to lose your gains just for the things you desire? What do you want? You want your gains or you want your desires? See, gains and desires are two different things. You desire the Sun because Sun is sitting in your enemy house. Sun is sitting in the 6th house because Leo is in the 6th house. 6th house is the enemy house. Why do you want Sun? Sun is your natural enemy. Who is your love? Who is giving you love? Is Capricorn. Who is the ruler of Capricorn? It is Saturn. So you should worship whom? Sun or Saturn? See, naturally, Saturn is not a good planet. It is a malefic planet of sorrow. But in your case, Saturn is giving you happiness. Who is giving sorrow? Sun is giving you sorrow. Then why the hell are you going to Sun? Go to Saturn. Go to darkness. Don't go to light. Light is burning you. You are a fish. The destiny of fish is to remain inside the water. What happens when fish comes out of water in light, in sunlight? It is going to die. And big fishes are in the darkness of water. So if you want to be a big fish, you need to go in the depths of water. Depths of water. Okay, so pick the hand of Saturn, don't pick the hand of Sun. No matter your Sun is good or bad, naturally Sun is, Leo is sitting in the enemy house. What good Sun would do if it is sitting in the enemy house? Sun and Leos would definitely be your enemies. It is naturally your enemy house. And Saturn's zodiac is sitting in the house of Labh, gains. Saturn is giving you gains. So you should worship darkness, you should not worship light. Okay. So see, there are every planet is good and bad for some people. For you, the planet of light is not good, the planet of darkness is good. Because you are the Masiha of darkness and the enemy of light. So why do you want to go to light? The light is going to consider you an enemy. Dark people are going to consider you as Masiha. So where can you get gains from? Would you get gains from white light, or are you getting gains from darkness? If you are getting gains from darkness, go and worship darkness. Go to Hades. Why do you want to go to Zeus? સિમ્પલ ફંડા. જ્યાંથી લાભ મળે છે ત્યાં જાઓ ને, પછી ગમે એવી જગ્યા છે. જ્યાંથી લાભ નથી મળતો ત્યાં કામ જવું છે? ભગવાન તારે ઇફ ગોડ light God, Bhagwan is not favoring you and darkness is favoring you. So why do you want to go to God? God is not favoring you, darkness is favoring you. શિવ હાથ પકડે છે તારો, તો પછી તારે વિષ્ણુ પાસે શું કામ જવું છે? મને એ નથી સમજાતું. Why do you want to go to Vishnu, who is just giving you some wealth, samruddhi, in exchange of sadness, sorrow, diseases and illness and karmic debts? Why do you want to go there? In opposite, Shiva is giving you boons, gains, in exchange of a simple life, simplicity. Who is the 11th house? Lord Capricorn. Lord of Capricorn, Saturn. Saturn is good with Shiva, not Vishnu. So, if you want to go and live a majestic life, a life of millionaire, billionaire, you are definitely going to get some amount of physical weakness, many enemies, sadness, sorrows, karmic debts. Okay, but if you try to live a simple life of Saturn, Lord Shiva, you are getting boons, you are getting a happy life, happy family, everything you are getting from Shiva. Vishnu is giving you wealth but taking away your peace. Shiva is giving you peace but is taking away your wealth. But Shiva is always giving you the wealth which is necessary for you. Saturn is giving you the wealth which is necessary. Saturn is just telling you not to accumulate a lot of wealth and go into desires. So that is Vishnu. Getting my point? So this is the case. Your case is a bit different. So you have to live a bit different life. You can't go towards money and wealth and everything because that is your enemy. Sun is your enemy. Leo is sitting in the enemy house. Okay, no matter your sun is good. Okay, its natural throne is in the enemy house. Okay. Now 12th house. 12th house is Aquarius. Cursed zodiac, Aquarius. Why? Anything in Aquarius is that what you are going to lose. Especially if in Navamsh D9 chart, whatever is placed in your Aquarius, you are going to lose that in your life. Whatever is in Aquarius, you are losing it. The Gada, okay, the water is going downwards, you are losing it. It is a curse from your past life. So whatever planet is going to sit in the 12th house, you are going to lose it. And lose it from your own mistakes. What mistake are you going to do? Let's see, who is the ruler of Saturn? Who is the ruler of Aquarius? Saturn. Where is Saturn watching? Saturn is watching 10th house from its side. Now count 10 from the 12th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is the ninth house. Who is the ninth house? Of religion and dharma, right? Who is the Lord over there? Lord over there is number 8, Mars. What is Mars? Fire, rage, anger, heat. Okay, so you are going to lose anything which is placed in the 12th house because of your fire, anger, rage, heat, bad speech. See, Saturn watches the 10th house from itself, and Aquarius Lord is Saturn. Now, if Aquarius is in the 12th house, so whatever is in the 12th house, you are going to lose that thing in life. Okay, why are you losing that thing? The remedy, why are you losing? You have to watch where is Saturn watching. Saturn is watching 10th house from itself. So, if you count 10, the house is number 9. So, you are losing thing because of Mars. Mars is giving you loss of everything in your life. Control your Mars. If you don't control your Mars, you will lose everything that is present in the 12th house, in the sign of Aquarius. If Moon is there, you will lose your mental peace. If Sun is there, you will lose your authority. If Mercury is there, you will lose your wealth. If Jupiter is there, you will lose your wealth and you will also lose your impression. If Sun is there, again, defamation. If Venus is there, you will lose your spouse. If Mercury, Venus, Moon, Mars, Jupiter, if Saturn is there, you will lose your karma. All the good things you are doing will go into vain because of your anger and rage, because of the Mars. Okay, so control your Mars. Wherever your Mars is placed, see, if you want the remedy of this thing, you have to see the Argala of 9th house. The Argala of 9th house is 5th house. You have to increase your 5th house. Who is the 5th house? 5th house is Cancer, which is ruled by Moon. Do whatever your mother is saying. You will reduce the effect of 9th house and 12th house. If not that, wear a pearl or moti. Where you have to wear it, for that I need to see where it is placed in your chart, where the moon is placed in your chart. But it is beneficial if you wear the moon in your thumb. Okay, in your thumb you have to wear moon. If you are a girl, wear it in right or left thumb. If you are a boy, wear it in right thumb. Okay. But again, I have to see where the moon is placed and where the Saturn is placed. Okay. So this was Pisces ascendants, and to know more about Pisces ascendants and more about astrology, please subscribe my channel. Visit vedicvidartha.com, and for personalized astrology counseling, please go into the website or just get into the comment zone. We can connect, and for more updates, please click the bell icon and subscribe. Thank you very much.